Monster. Host to Ty. I can't help but feel lucky to see this. Fortunately, they didn't act rudely before. If you really think of this person as a plot to get involved, the end of them, it will be like the old man. We're done with the fish. Most likely, it still has the same glow on its back. Turn to the 4. Take a cold breath and say, "Do you remember what I said before?" The word just ended. Religious owner and Ty-Vin simultaneously fake stupid. Hurry up with denial. I don't remember what the butler said. That's right. The old man hadn't heard anything lately. At that time, slowly, from the battle. Look seriously, lamb. No longer intact on earth. The face is a little unsightly. Pretending to ignore. He went straight to the side of track. Most embarrassed to laugh. Ha ha. Thank you for helping me with the fish. Otherwise, the old man would have wasted his energy. Most likely coldly looking at him seriously. With your bravery, you can let someone else run away. I saw his face with little fear. The butler's voice explained. The old man was a bit subjective. In addition, he is also a trained monk, so he hasn't finished yet. The most likely is silently cutting through. I don't want to hear him explain seriously. Do you know, I just assured these people that it's an AI. Can you get out of the fight? Or I'll take his head. Haha, I think we should get the head now. Tung unconsciously trembling. Be aware of the serious matter. Look at the 4. It's easy to show a cruel smile. It's not just the head. There are 4 fresh heads here. I am most likely to hear this word. Not pleased to say good. They're dead. No one will know what we're bragging about. It also keeps the nose. Serious tongue. The doctor agreed to breathe softly and smiled. That's right, that's right. To hear the conversation, the Fertais immediately trembled and knelt on the ground. Please forgive your life. Track the butler. Lord Generous. Please forgive the dog's life. Please have mercy. See us as trash on the street. I can't help but laugh and shake my head. His hands are serious. And the other 2 are okay. Seriously, right now, they're all dead. I am most likely to point to the 4 people who spoke. Well, you tie them up first. The lives of this man. I'll leave it to the bad boy. You should also teach him how to be a householder. Please spare your life. Seriously, yes, for an hour. They tied up the fakir. Take them into battle. Right now. Strangers also came out from inside the battlefield. I can see for sure that I am happy for a while. Especially Van High lost. He quickly rushed into his heart, exclaiming excitedly. TRAC dossier. Hold this little boy in your arms. Most likely, look at the people coming. He looked at the smiling eagle again. Ha ha ha, you haven't died yet. I was reminded of his name and scratched his head. Even if the old man dies, you have to die fighting for the lost. You can die for training. I'm not that bad. I'm most likely pleased to nod. He looked at the family standing next to him. Go to the lady. People, how about giving you some training before you go? But that. Then he raised his hand and slapped him in the face. Two eyes streaming out, to tears of heartbreak screaming. The son of a bitch deserves to die. We just met and talked about our family. You don't know how to ask her. A few sentences ago. Except to 129 evil butlers. He was given the strongest slap of all time. Blink a few. In the heart of a little thought. But it makes sense to adjust the smiling face. Hey ha ha ha, how have you been lately? The haughty court turned its head cold for an hour. I have to worry about him now, it's too late. The body is not out of stagnation, probably the most. I almost couldn't help but curse this woman. I don't know how to make her happy. The surgeon shook his head. Take a deep breath. I can't see her coming next to me. She looked at the blood on her face and said, Miss, you're injured. Usually there's no answer. Keep a close eye on the person in front of you. Put your hand on his cheek. Soft voice. I'm sure glad you're home. The award can't be won anymore. Immediately fainted, fall into the warm bosom of the most mortal. Suddenly he called out this great lady. Look at the weak girl. In my heart, think of the word home that came out of her mouth. He had a little thought. From this house is very strange to him. It was the same before, and it's the same now. In his heart, he had never seen anywhere as home. Because for him to say, the land before Kier is the territory of the for undead. As long as where he takes it, that's his territory. Until the birth of a lifetime. Even though trying to make the royal family. This place is very. It's just a stop for you. Until the goal is achieved. He will leave at any time. I never saw this place as my home. The next morning. Sunlight through the window. Shining straight into that room. That the stray is often sleeping in bed with his eyes closed. Sometimes the eyes are a little shaky. Slowly wake up. At this moment a cry of fear is heard. The lost lady is awake. Hearing a sound called fecal matter, often looking back. The one who came was a servant. Of drag dance family. Sean saw that she wanted to sit up. Put the medicine on the table. Hurry up and get her up. Is often grateful to nod. Then he asked her where she was. When I heard her, I honestly said You're meeting with the butler and everyone. So the lady asked her servant to take care of her. People watching. The lady also told her to search the cellar for you. Hey! Listen to little two. Probably the most common is to get up quickly. Hurry to leave. My mouth doesn't stop talking. That's right, he's back. We have to find him. Worried that her wound is not healed. Little to gave advice. Don't get lost, lady. The body is so weak. Drink these 8 cups first. Maybe the butler can't run away. Lost. I can't even hear what Little says. Determined to run away. I don't care that much. I want to see him. At the same time, at the Black Mountain Hall, the most comfortable sitting in the electric chair, in the hand of a notebook, asked the elder how he was practicing. I waited for an embarrassing moment to say, "Stupid old man. I haven't made a major breakthrough in 2 years. But lately we've been feeling like we're about to break through." Not waiting for him to finish, most likely the world interrupted. "That's stupid. But I can't blame you. In your capacity, it's really hard to break anymore." The sky heard this word, unconsciously stagnating, awkwardly laughing miserably. A word cannot be denied. But the dance stands next to it. Look at him mocking the women. She angrily questioned the mortal. "What do you mean? You've been a little over 2 years. Is that we're fighting for Ra? You've broken everything." And she just finished. Most likely, he threw his number in front of her. Said coldly, "And you? You said I just came back without saying hello. Talked home right away with no feelings at all. I didn't say anything yesterday. Let's go back to the old story with everyone. So today, we can exercise the power of a butler." "Right. 2 years ago, I told you to organize a haunting team. On the surface is to be a potential force of the family. But on the other hand, it's for the family to hear. News of the universe. But you look at Sao contact point of contact. Only in some small cities. Don't talk about the capital. Even the major strongholds of the 7 kingdoms. I can't see it anywhere." She's not afraid of the cold, either. "You think it's easy to blend into those places?" He sent no less than 10 people to the important fortress of Cup. But they're all kicked out. Fortunately, they are dead. Once discovered, they will look for death. If not from a year ago, Cup's people are here. Most likely, he looked at her and laughed a little. "Why don't you look at me? How can we blend into the dance?" The family heard him mention this. Take a bite of your lip. I can't help laughing coldly. "You didn't mention that." He almost forgot about it. Probably the Bavai family butler. But I don't forget to love everywhere. It's very lavish. If my subordinates. There's half the talent of the butler. Don't say 7. Maybe even the capital now. You can blend it in. Suddenly the most likely to hear this word. I feel like I have a little bit of an argument. A refusal to give an opinion. What do you think? But I did it for the sake of the family. On one side, I see 2 people wanting to fight. Hurry to stand raw advice, ha ha ha. I'm afraid you misunderstood. In the past, the work of the Track brothers has always been deeply difficult to detect. Maybe the rumors on the outside have a deeper meaning. Other than Sao. You see not. Brother Track has found 2 masters for us. Like I said at the beginning. Without waiting for the public to speak. Most likely he turned his head and looked at him. And you too, old man. Hard to swallow saliva. Hand wiped the sweat on his forehead, faltering, said brother. Not waiting for him to finish. Most likely the world has come. He patted her on the shoulder and praised her for doing well. It's time to give you a break. I don't think about it either. You can survive and train it. I saw you alive today. It means it has exceeded my expectations. Haha, but don't worry from now on. You have changed flesh. I'm sure he'll be a key figure later. It cannot be replaced by the lost. Tyrant was praised for his weakness. Rigid body dare not move. No matter your hands on your shoulders. Until now he knows. Extra met you 2 years ago. Most likely, the world will leave him. He thought he could survive the training. That year, he thought he was just scaring him. A series of critical targets. Most likely, he glanced back, the only boy in the room. With an evil smile, talking to me. I heard him scream and shudder unconsciously. With a lovely smile and said he. You are still just a small cat. Please great ca ignore Cho meow. Unfortunately, most people will not let go. Staring at the kid. How's the bad boy Vi? When I heard this, I was a little afraid that I would be scolded. Because you know the Vi. And the eye of the most ordinary, you must have seen it. But he still tried to ask. Under the pressure of the worst. Dis hardly replied, Tract ICAD was truck muscle 9 floors. It's about to break through. Already said. The boy blinked at his own table for help. It was as if he understood the idea of stopping the butler. Hi, young master has only been practicing for more than 2 years. Which has reached the 9-tiered structure. That's a genius. Probably the most satisfied. The smile doesn't change, it's true. How much time do you practice every day? A little bit of an island divergence. 3 fingers up 3 timers. State leader stunned a battle. Also immediately nods the correct caption. Van High young master cultivated extremely hard. These little details of them. Most likely, it's all in the eyes. However, he did not expose. Keep a smile on your lips. Maybe 7 more hours later. Give it even 10 hours of practice a day. This word just came out. Everyone took a deep breath at the same time. Especially if you're a scatter. The boy rolled his eyes wide open and screamed, "Don't he? If you do that, you will die." Most likely, he would raise his face to the sky and laugh. I'll give you a drink every day. Medicine can't die. You will get used to it over time. I can't help but shiver the corners of my mouth. The sea looks the most certain. Choking his voice begging, "That's it. I only have 2 hours a day to rest. There's no time to go out." That's what you just said. The most likely is laughing. Who said to have 2 hours of rest? I only have half an hour. The other half I have to read. If not later. I have become a stupid thinker with developed limbs. What kind of a landlord? This word just came out that the Dung Hai collapsed on the ground. You have no choice but to cry in your heart. The public saw this scene. I can't help but comfort the young man. You're excited. He looked at the sad face of the ocean. Rarely a gentle smile. The other heirs are mostly well-heeled. This little devil, again by a cold butler as surely as any. Stand behind follow. So childhood was a bit of a disaster. But on the other hand, there's a butler as cold as he urges. Plus the genius of this little devil is not weak. It will surely be achieved later. I don't know if this demon is bad or bad. Except to 130 sky dance for tigers. After a while. Most likely, the sky is dark. The sky is not early anymore. Everybody go on vacation. End words. He looked at his tears and said seriously. Seriously, you to stay for a while. Wait until everyone leaves. BA people. Most likely, he came next to her. Suddenly right now, the worst of the world raises the cup of tea. Just knock a little, lady. If you are here, why don't you come in? He found that the stool was usually outside the door. Put on your hands and let the girl go alone. She slowly walked inside. I saw that her face was still a little pale. The worst of them asked the lady. Are you getting better? Is that shit doesn't usually answer, just nods slowly. Most likely, I don't even ask. Turn to two people. Shocking and strict rules the gender. Ha. Miss, let me introduce you a little. This man is a serious elder. He will later be the elder of the lost family. Next to you is the sky. He will be the chief of the army. The family has him on guard for 5 levels of battle. It may be difficult to break the battle. Often lost. I've seen the horror of the hand. She knows his true power. He hurriedly bowed to the 2 elders. It's just that the tears are as sweet as ever. Seriously, your face is sad. No one answered her. See this situation. Most likely, how deep is the face? You two don't seem very satisfied. The Lord kept his mouth shut and said nothing. Slightly frown muttered. Track the butler. That's not what you said before. Only yesterday did we understand. The lost family doesn't even have an elder anymore. It's just a second-rate family. I think you should look at them coldly when you hear this. At first I invited you to. We didn't say that there were large-scale strays. More speaking reluctantly. It's voluntary to join, right? But this butler track. He said the strangers are the most powerful in the universe. Don't wait to say the full sentence. Probably the world screamed for an hour. Then blame me. A scream this scared shows serious fear trembling. But the horror is just a little surprising. Maintain a haughty appearance without saying a word. Misfits often see this. For a while. Once again, the old man said his words. First of all, I'm very grateful that you two have such power. But still willing to join us. We also know that a lost family is a small family, unworthy of great characters like two guards. But please believe me. There's a butler, and two more. Hope will get better and better. And again, our family will absolutely not abuse you. If so, you still want to leave. Usually we will not stop. We can only say that we have no destiny. It's often a sincere word. Strictly looking at each other. There's a touch in my heart. That's right now. I'm sure the world is yelling at these two old men again. Rue was invited not to drink. Want to drink, fine. You are weak. Then I assure you, As long as Lao Tzu is here, not more than 5 years, the world will be on the same level as the 7 nations. Not more than 15 more essay will completely pass 7 countries. If you still want to get out the door, it's easy. If you want to go out, walk over my body. The word just ended. Sacred and solemn ceremony. I can't help but shake. Both of you can feel the intensity of that. If you're really angry, it's like you said. Today is the day of their death. I thought to people on my forehead had a cold sweat. Kneeling down in front of me is a common mistake. Please forgive the crime. We were just kidding. Please don't hold your stomach. I often see these 2 men kneeling in front of me. She is not out of fear. Hurry up and get the 2 up. The 2 elders get up. You shouldn't do this. But the 2 of them were still kneeling there. Because it's in their eyes. The person with the most voice here is the most likely. Not her. He was not angry, let them stand up. I'm afraid they'll heal a lot less. Often look out at this point. Turn your head a little bit. Hurry up for sure. Most lip eyes look too. Who knelt on the ground coldly said, if the lady has asked for help. Today's story is ignored. But there's absolutely no next time. Hear this word. 2 people take a breath at the same time. I am in a hurry to say thank you, my lady. And then you lift your feet and run away. Is ordinary dung. I can't wait to see the 2 heroes running away. Be quiet in your heart. He looked the most certain for a long time and finally laughed. Probably S. Abda felt over 2 years. You're getting worse and worse. I'm not going to recognize you anymore. You treat them that way. Is it too strict? 2 years ago. And everybody's doing their best. He must have grinned slightly for an hour. I know what they've done over the last 2 years. We are all very satisfied. They've obviously put in a lot of work. Beyond my imagination. Is that feces are often a little bit incomprehensible to look at why. But why did you still? The most important thing is that his eyes sparkled and he said hey ha ha ha. If you want CAI to manage the bottom, you have to be soft, just strict. I know for sure. Usual day. She just showed softness to them. We have to be strict here. If not, how do they know who is the owner of the tribe? It's usually a fight. Unconsciously a little hesitant to say. But that, it's $1 billion and everyone is our family. When danger lives with death. Do we need to treat them that way? Most likely, smile for an hour. In the eyes of God, people will change. They want power and power in their hands. Always be on your guard. With everyone around you. Maybe the most trusted lady today. Tomorrow will be your greatest enemy. It's like the 7 kingdoms that were the founding gods. Now it's all become an underground threat of Wild 7. Hear this word. Is that the facial recognition suddenly changes? You must be scary, muttering softly. Maybe one day, you will also be our enemy. Most people don't notice her behavior. Refuse, give the opinion, shake your head. I'd rather die in your arms. I don't want to confront you. She just finished. In the strongest of hearts suddenly jumped up. Take a look at her. Take a deep breath and talk later. No one can predict anything. For a moment the two of them said nothing more. The hall fell into a quiet peace. Lost in the sea right now. A sad face suddenly appeared to him. Often lost. Please say billion. Let's talk about it later. The important thing is now. I am about to be beaten to death. Only half an hour of rest a day. It's no different than abuse. Not from the stupor. It's normal shit right now. I finally remembered my brother after the conference. It's a little tragic. I laughed and looked at the worst. Does the butler practice 10 hours a day? Not waiting for her to finish. Most likely, he cut across the lady. No more talking. I only want good for that boy. How much sweat is there now? Then shed less blood. If people don't want, the young man stepped in his father's car. In the eyes can't help but condense. Is that shit doesn't stop screaming. Van High, cultivate and rest properly. The butler's warrant has now been issued. No more comments. The sea is completely desperate. No one can save you. Out of practice anymore. Most likely, he couldn't help looking at her. Laughed into a hapless shake of his head. At the same time, outside the black maple paint, there are 4 new photo bodies. A man wearing a sword. Robe in the back. One person on the fan handle, calm eyes. Calm mood. Third person to eyes like copper bell, red hair, adventure. The last man tall. Toughest muscles in for people. They stood under the mountain. Faced the 4 great battles around. He showed a terrified face. The man with the sword looked at the 4 people. Any rabbit would tell us to cross 1,000 miles. Hurry to support. It turns out that this place has a real shelter. How do you feel about this battle? You remember, like, share and subscribe to our channel to support us. Below are to QR codes Momo and Vietcombank. I want to support you in more good episodes. You're sticky. You can ask for your favorite series. We'll pin everything to thank you. 231 The God of War. The second person suddenly folded the fan in his hand. Let me just say for a moment that this battle is magical. Sometimes it's hard to understand if someone is in the fight. Just practice Vi in the sky. Let's focus, the 4 of us. It is also difficult to break the battle. The redhead couldn't help but scream out loud. If so we're running 1,000 miles here. What the hell is the backup? People here don't have a sow protection battle. The man wearing the sword saw that he was angry. Put your hands on him. You say 3 soldiers like son. If the marshal tells us to come here for backup, whether this place is a mountain of fire, we also have to be on time. Maybe you forget. Last time drinking, miss being fed sow sticks by the marshal himself. Hear this word. The red-haired man immediately shut up. No more words. The man wearing the sword nodded with satisfaction. Then towards Black Feng Sun, hugging the power to shout out to 4 generals under her alone. Old Marshal, Sky Dance Ant, Black Feng Sun peanut owner. Inside Black Feng paint. Most likely, listen to the sound. Not out of wonder, They're the second of the four pillars. Subordinates of the war god alone, she battled the sky sow. Come here. Maybe Seven wants to get involved in this. I don't know how bad it is. The most likely thing anyone can tell you is that it's normal. Great lady. Take this boy to practice before me. When you hear the words, you can often nod. The end of the sentence brings the sea away. But it's a kid. Before we go, we try to move forward. Probably the most pathetic. Probably CA. The rest of my life is in your hands. Hear this word. Probably laughing for an hour. This kid's hair hasn't grown enough yet. Where's the happy half-life shit? Outside black maple paint. Suddenly a commotion flashed through. Poison gas in Poison Dragon battle slowly dissipated. Probably the most out. To go in the direction of the four people who spoke at the lower level of the. I don't know if the four are. The man with the sword saw someone coming out. Embracing the right to self-presentation through for at the bottom are the four generals of the world sitting. Lonely old marshal. You know there is an accident. Order to support. To poison the wind. His word just ended. The man holding the fan also held the right to speak at poisoning Ms. Lamb. The red-haired man said he poisoned the fire. Finally, the big man, bowing the procession, casually said she painted alone. Listen to them one by one. The most amazing of all. Fong Lam Ho Sun. Sky Dance for Tigers. He soon heard of it. The second of the four pillars of solitude has four sons. You are brave. Real power of people. The four of them scored several victories in a row. It's called the Four Tigers. He is good at raiding and fighting. The Tiger Room. The two of them are as deep as the forest. Military maneuver memorized static modulation. Name painting Lamb Tiger. He was invaded like fire by misfire. Hot temper you dare champion. The name of the tiger. The four-legged man painted as motionless as a mountain. The door of 1,000 people is hard to open. The best is to defend the title of Sun Tiger. For people join forces on the battlefield to kill the enemy. Everywhere you go is beneficial. Year-round Theo next to the lonely battle sky. His body does not leave. If you say they're here, then the lone warrior must also be present. At Black Feng Sun. For lonely people, she saw him musing. It's like knowing exactly what he wants. Miss Lamb said calmly in her voice. Maybe the butler doesn't need to look around anymore. There are only 4 of us here. We've given orders 1,000 miles to support this place. The captain of the army will be a little late. Most likely I heard that and laughed a little. It also means that in a few days, the marshal will also come. Haha, I already know this. I will inform the young lady. You can go home. Stop talking and turn away. Leaving for people alone. They come from far away. And even the door won't let you in. There's no point in that. Solo girl fiery temperament. When I saw him turn away, I hurriedly shouted, "This Zach Butler is ridiculous. We're 1,000 miles to back up. They don't thank you. Even the door won't let us in. The world has guests. Most likely to stop, but don't turn your head coldly. Guest. When you talk about support, you go to Sao. What do you do together with them?